mysterious kid, I got an acquaintance who calls himself the Incredible Nerd. I don't know him well enough to use his first name, so I called him Mr. Nerd. Now, he was very proud of a new card control he was trying to show me the other day. He took the pack and he cut 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 packets, turned them over, and there were 10 of hearts, Jack of hearts, Queen of hearts, King of hearts, Ace of hearts, a royal flush, and hearts. I wasn't very impressed, as I said to him, you took those cards straight out of the case. They'd never been shuffled. So he said, all right, I'll shuffle the cards. And he shuffled the cards. And then once more he cut. And he cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 packets, and once more he had 10 of hearts, Jack of hearts, Queen of hearts, King of hearts, Ace of hearts. I thought that was a bit better, but I wasn't going to admit it. So I said to him, one shuffle, big deal. In a real game, the cards get shuffled time after time. So he said, all right, then I'll shuffle again. And he shuffled again. And he did show me that the cards were well shuffled. And then again he cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 packets. And again he had 10 of hearts, Jack of hearts, Queen of hearts, King of hearts, Ace of hearts. I was quite impressed by now, so I asked if I could have a go. He wasn't very willing, but at length he agreed. Trouble was that I didn't know what he'd been doing, so all I could try was to imitate his actions. So I shuffled the cards, and I made sure they were well shuffled. And then I cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 packets. And then I held my breath and hoped for the best. And I was pretty pleased with myself. He didn't agree. He claimed he was very observant, and he'd happened to notice that when we started, we were using cards from a pack with red backs. And he offered to bet me that that flush in hearts came from a different pack to these others. Like I said, I didn't know what I'd been doing, so I was in no position to start making bets. I thought the only thing I could try was to take out that flush in hearts, and we could actually look at them. Sure enough, they came from a different pack. I got out of it, though, because I pointed out to him he hadn't been cutting the cards from that packet, he'd been cutting them from this packet. So if the flush in hearts was from the same pack as this, there was no problem. Now, there's quite a lot of preparation for this trick. Just a little point before I get properly started. I like to start the trick, for the sake of the plot, pulling the pack out of the case, but then I get rid of the case altogether into a pocket, because otherwise it clutters up the table. Now, for this trick, you need 5 different back designs, all with white edges so that they don't actually show up if the cards get bent a little, white borders I mean, and all as accurately cut as possible, because you've got to do faro shuffles with a mixture of cards from all 5 packs. And assembling a suitable set of cards is probably the hardest part of the trick. So here's my setup. I've got an upper block up to the Ace of Hearts. These are the 5 different designs. You get designs and get an order of them that suits you. So I've got my starting back, red. I've got a Pepsi back, a Casino back, a Budweiser back. I think that's the Bicycle Christmas back. So there are the 5 different designs. The 5th card will be one of your royal flush in hearts or spades or whatever, When I first started doing the trick, I used spades. Now I switched over to the hearts because the ace of spades in fancy designs tends itself to be a fancy card, which is irrelevant to the trick but distracts attention. So ace of hearts is a very ordinary looking ace. And throughout these, the same sequence of colours is repeated. Red, Pepsi, casino, bud, green. Red, Pepsi, casino, bud, green. Red, Pepsi, casino, bud, green. And the actual values of any of the cards except every fifth, green, 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 doesn't matter, but the 5th, 10th, 15th, 20th, 25th, those are your flush in hearts. In addition, just to save myself bother, I've slightly shortened the corner shorts here and here, of each of the flush in hearts. That's part of the preparation. Whatever your starting back may be, 7 more of those. Values don't matter. And then enough more of the same back as the flush in hearts to make up your pack of 52. More or less, the exact number obviously doesn't matter. Okay. So there's the setup. You take the cards out of the case, and now thanks to the corner shorts, you can riffle down to 10 of hearts, Jack of hearts, Queen of hearts, King of hearts, Ace of hearts. These cards you put to one side. Try and make sure you get them into a position where you won't accidentally jog them, because only the top 7 cards are your starting back. You turn these over, and there we've got the flush and hearts. Now, you have to learn how to pick them up. It looks pretty natural, it can be done quickly. You pick up ace and king together, drop them on queen and jack. Pick up the 10 and drop it on the king, and then this lot, which are the ace packet with the ace on the lot. This is so that after you've done a faro shuffle, they will once more come out in correct order of 10, jack, queen, king, ace. You do the faro shuffle. It's hard anyway to do a faro shuffle with a small number of cards. I find it helps if I hold the cards rather nearer to the weaving corners than I normally would, and also use rather more pressure than I normally would. In fact, I've done a miscut there in my explanation, but when you're used to your cards, then you will know what the correct sequence of backs should be for cutting at. So there, I've got my first faro. And what that faro of 25 cards does is to circulate the backs, so that each time you go round doing a cut of 5 packets, a different set of backs will turn up. We cut, and now we've got the casino backs. Pick up as before. Once more, cut, faro. The second faro is when I normally spread to show that the cards are well mixed. Now we've got the bud backs. Same pickup yet again. The third faro is when you are pretending to have a go at doing the cut without quite knowing how it works. And this is where you do the faro, and this is the point at which I like to put in the waterfall. So they each have a slight variation. And we get the next set of backs. Now, in fact, we've been through all of the backs except the genuine backs of the royal flush. which in this case are the green ones. So this is when we talk about the man you're showing it to suspecting you of cheating. And he's noticed that these started with cards from a pack with red backs, and you push off 6. If you go too far, you'll be showing the rest of the cards. You put those on the face, but in-jogged. You turn over, and you talk about him offering to bet that the flush in hearts was from a different pack to these others, and you lick out the remaining, the 7th one, and place it on the face, and then square up and keep a break. Now, what you're going to do is to switch all cards except the flush for the ones under that break. So the way I do it, take out the ace, the king, the queen, the jack, and the 10. And there are different techniques you can use here. What I like to do is a variation of a spread pass. Push the cards together, and then turn this hand down as I put those over. What I usually do, and I haven't actually gone into it, this I think you can work out for yourselves, is to make sure that these 2 cards match, so there isn't an astonishing change. Most of the times it wouldn't be noticed, but it went from a red court card to a black 2 or something of that sort. It could become a bit obvious, so you might as well aim for perfection.